And I'm live. Okay. So another week and another Thursday. Today is 7th of November and it's 8:03. So let's start. Um, and also I wanted to say if Kike is here, if he's gonna see what was the name of the Teraflu. Was it Teraflu? I don't remember. I think it was Teraflu. Whatever. What I wanted to say is that I think my cough is better, although I didn't drink any Teraflu, if this was the name. Ok, que lo que dije fue em, lo que Kike me dijo la última vez, que debería de tomar una bebida que se llama Teraflu, creo, que es para la tos. Y le dije, ya que él me preguntó sobre sobre la palabra although en inglés, ¿qué significa? Entonces le dije, la tos que tenía ya está mejor, aunque no tomé Teraflu. Y lo que dije en inglés era que my cough is better, although I didn't take any Teraflu. Okay, so let's start. Last week we did some we did some articles. Hi Kike, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Okay, so we did last week we did the time and we did some articles, we did some months, and that was it. So what I wanted to say is today we have a little bit more information. So maybe we're not gonna have time to do everything today, but let's see. Lo que dije es que las 2 últimas semanas, hemos revisado muy poca información en las clases porque en las unidades no había tanta información, pero ya vamos a empezar con con Unit 10 y hay más información. So we are gonna start on Unit 10 already. And the last 2 weeks we didn't have so much information because in the Unit 8 and 9 there wasn't so much information. It was just like the time, the months, the day, and yeah. You can, if you want to see it, you can just go back to our YouTube channel, and check the 2 last classes. But what I was saying is that today we have more information, and we're gonna see if we have time to do everything today. If not, we're gonna continue next week. No problem. Okay, if you have any questions or any doubts, you can just write in the chat. Whatever. It doesn't have to do anything with what we're doing. It doesn't have to be anything in the unit or whatever. If you have any question at all, just ask me. Okay, so we're gonna start this class with I'm just gonna say again because there wasn't anyone connected when I said it. I said, so today is another Thursday. It's the 7th of November and it's 8:07 o'clock. Okay? It's 8:07 or 7 past 8 or 7 after 8. And we're gonna start the class. Okay, so Unit 10 starts with asking about places. So to ask about a place, you ask, where is? And then you ask the place. Entonces vamos a empezar con preguntar sobre lugares. ¿Y cómo se pregunta? se pregunta is where is the pharmacy? Where is the post office? Where is the supermarket? Where is the bank? Where is the park? And then, so this is the most normal way of asking about places. Where is? ¿Dónde está? And then you ask about the place. The bank, the park, the supermarket, the pharmacy, the bookstore, whatever. And if you want to ask, si quieres preguntar si hay algo cerca de donde estás, digamos que estás buscando una farmacia y quieres preguntar a alguien, ¿hay una farmacia cerca de aquí? Entonces preguntas, ¿is there a pharmacy near here or close to here? So, is there a pharmacy near here? Or you can also say, is there a pharmacy close to here? More example, you can say, is there a supermarket near here? Is there a bank near here? Near, cerca, here, aquí. Suena muy similar, suena muy parecido cuando lo dices muy rápido. Near here. It sounds really, really similar when you're saying it fast. So, is there a supermarket near here? Is there a pharmacy near here? Is there a bank near here? Whatever you want to ask about. Is there a supermarket, bank, park, pharmacy near here? Okay? Any questions? And then if you ask someone, you ask them, is there a pharmacy near here? And they say their answer is yeah, there is a pharmacy on Oak Street, let's say. And then you can ask if you can walk there, si puedes caminar hasta ahí. You can ask, is it far from here? Or you can ask, is there a supermarket in this area, or in this village, in this town? En español sería, hay una farmacia en esta área, o en este pueblo, en esta ciudad. En una ciudad siempre hay una farmacia, ¿no? Pero en este pueblo, digamos, is there a pharmacy in this town or in this village? Yes, there is. Okay, is it far from here? ¿Está lejos de aquí? Entonces, repetimos. Let's repeat. The first, the most normal way of asking something. Where is the post office, the bank, the pharmacy, the supermarket? Where is? ¿Dónde está? And then you ask about the place you want to ask about. And then you can ask, is there a pharmacy near here? Is there a school near here? Is there a supermarket, a bank, a park, a school, whatever, near here? And then, as I told you, if let's say that you ask someone, is there a pharmacy in this village? And they answer, yes, there is. Then you can ask, is it far from here? Or you ask, where is the pharmacy? Oh, it's on Oak Street. And then you can ask, oh, okay, is it far from here? ¿Está lejos de aquí? Okay, so this is the most normal way of asking about places. Okay? So asking about how to get to a place. cómo llegar a un lugar. Okay? How can I get to? ¿Cómo puedo llegar a? How can I get to the pharmacy? How can I get to the school? How can I get to the supermarket from here? De aquí. How do I get to? And then you ask about the place. How can I get to? How can I get to the shopping mall? Um, and you can also ask, the most normal way of asking is, how can I get to the school or the supermarket, whatever. But you can also ask, how do I get to? Let's say that you ask, sorry, excuse me, is there a pharmacy? Um, uh, no, okay, excuse me, where is the pharmacy? Oh, it's on Oak Street. Okay, thank you. Is it far from here? No, it's 3 blocks from here. Okay, how do I get to Oak Street? Or, okay, how can I get to Oak Street? And then they explain, okay, so you go straight ahead and then you turn to the right and then you turn to the left and there it is. Okay? So all of these questions are questions one after the other. Entonces, todas estas preguntas son preguntas que vienen una tras la otra. Primero preguntas dónde está la farmacia y, y luego dicen la calle, te contestan con un nombre de la calle y luego preguntas si está lejos y dicen que no. Entonces dices, ok, ¿cómo puedo llegar ahí? Pero también podrías decir, si tú sabes que hay una farmacia en esas calles en donde estás caminando, también puedes preguntar directamente, ¿cómo llego a la farmacia? Porque ya sabes que hay una farmacia ahí cerca. So then you can ask directly, how can I get to the pharmacy that's on Oak Street? Because you already know on what street it is. Okay. Um, so then these are the ways to ask about places and how you get to the places. Then to answer, I'm just gonna do my computer like this. Perfect. Okay, so then um, to answer how to get to a place, you have to. That's a little bit more complicated because you have to say go straight, and then you go to the right, and then you take the second to the left, and then you go right again, and then straight ahead, and there it is. Entonces, para explicar cómo llegar a un lugar, es un poquito más complicado. No es difícil, pero es un poquito más complicado porque tienes que saber cómo decir todo derecho, a la derecha, a la izquierda, la segunda calle a la izquierda ajá, es un poquito complicado porque tienes que saber cómo decir las calles y derecha, izquierda, todo derecho y la segunda calle a la derecha o a la izquierda. Entonces, digamos, ¿qué quieres decir? How can I get to the pharmacy? Okay, so, lo voy a decir en español primero. Todo derecho, después a la derecha, después la segunda calle a la izquierda y otra vez a la derecha y después todo derecho y ahí está. A ver si me acuerdo. Okay, so you go straight ahead and then you go to the right and then you take the second left and then you go to the right again, and then straight ahead, and there it is. Ok, todo derecho, straight ahead, después a la derecha, and then to the left, to the right. So todo derecho, straight ahead, a la derecha, to the right. La segunda calle a la izquierda, the second left. Y después a la derecha otra vez, and then you go to the right again. Y todo derecho and straight ahead. Y ahí está. And there it is. ¿Ok? Por favor, si no entendieron o si es algo, si tienen una pregunta, una duda o algo que no entendieron, lo que sea, por favor escríbeme en el chat, ¿ok? So if there is something that you didn't understand or if it was complicated or if you have any question or a doubt, just don't hesitate. Write to me in the chat and I'll explain it again. Okay, so if you don't have any questions right now, I'm gonna continue with numbers. So now we passed how to ask about places and how to ask about getting to places. Okay? So we're gonna continue, and also we already passed how to explain how to get somewhere. Also the explanation, de la respuesta de cómo llegar. La pregunta de cómo llegar y la respuesta de cómo llegar. So we already did the two. Asking about places, asking about how to get to places, and also how to respond about getting to places. Okay? So let's continue with numbers. So when we pass 100, it gets a little bit more complicated, let's say. So let's start first at 60. 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. And then you have 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90. Y ojos, porque hay que tener cuidado de decir 60 or 16. 16 es 16. 60 es 60. ¿Ok? 16, 16, 60, 60. 17, 17, 70, 70. 18, 18, 80 or 80. 18 y 80. 19 y 90. 19 y 90. Se escribe diferente, pero cuando lo dices rápido, puede que suene bastante parecido. 16, 60. Pero si lo hago muy lento, van a escuchar que sí hay una diferencia. 16 y 60. ¿Ok? Entonces seguimos con 100. Después viene 101, 102, 103. Y en algunos países se dice 101, 102, 123. Y en otros se dice 101, 102, 123. Entonces es un poquito diferente dependiendo en qué país estás. So it's a little bit different depending on in what country you are in. Okay? In some places they say 101, 110, 123, And in other places, they say 101, 102, 110, 123. Okay? So we have some numbers. It's just some examples, but I'm gonna say them so you can hear the pronunciation. And if you have difficulties with numbers, it's perfect. Just listen. Entonces voy a decir nada más unos ejemplos de números que son bastante grandes. Y si ya saben, pues perfecto. Pero los voy a decir para que escuchen la pronunciación. Y si no saben, perfecto, pues escuchen. Ok, entonces 100, 101, 200, 227. Yo personalmente casi siempre digo and, because that's the way I learned, porque esa es la manera que yo lo aprendí. So 101, 123, 201, 227, 254, 300, 400. Y siempre es lo mismo, 301, 310, 334. 400, 445, 482, 500, 501, 512, 583, 591, 600, and it's always the same, 601, 610, 620, 635, and then 700. 701, 702, 715, 737, 748, 800, 831, 853, 889, 900, 901, 910, 919, 999. Okay, so there are some examples of numbers. Okay, so then we go once again. Oh, I see that there are some people connected. I would love if you wanted to write in the chat, just say hi, or if you have any questions or doubts, don't hesitate. Okay, so then once again, we're at the number 0. There are two different ways of saying this number. You can say O, or you can say 0. Okay, so the most common way when you use the most common ways of when you use 0 is in mathematics, in science, and and in temperature. So for example, um, it's 0 degrees outside, and I'm just gonna take some water. And the most common ways of when you use O is when you're talking about the time. For example, it's 3:05. And when you use direction, and when you use the number of a hotel room, or a room just in a hostel or a motel or a hotel, or whatever house it is that has a room, that has a number of the room. And also, so this is the most common way of using 0 and O. And both, you can use both when you're saying your phone number. For example, let's say that my phone number is 0733 08 22145. So I can say 0, or I can say 07, I don't remember what I said, 073 0822 145, if that was the number. So in phone numbers, you can use both. You can use O and you can use 0. It's it's the same. Both are correct. Um, but there are different areas when you usually use 0 and when you usually use O. Okay, so then let's continue with ways of explaining how to get somewhere, your transportation of getting somewhere. If you're going, if you're going, let's say, by car, by taxi, by horse, by boat, by train, by bicycle, by plane, so you always use by. How are you getting to work? Oh, I'm getting to work by bicycle. How are you getting to Spain? I'm going to Spain by plane. How are you going to. And you can ask two different ways. You can ask, how are you getting? And how are you going? I would say maybe the most normal way would be, how are you going? ¿Cómo vas a ir? O ¿cómo vas a llegar? How are you getting? How are you going? So, how are you going to school? I go by bus. How are you going to Spain? I'm going by plane. How are you going to Mexico City? I'm going by train. How are you going to work? I'm going by bicycle. How are you going to your grandmother's house? I'm going by car. It's always by. But there is one way where you use on, and it's on foot. Okay? Um, if I have an example, for example, let's say that we're neighbors, and then I can say to you, I can go to your house on foot, a pie. Okay? So every time it's a way of going somewhere by a transportation, then it's by. Just only when it's foot, walking, a pie, then you say on. Okay? No questions? Then I am gonna continue. Um, so then we're gonna continue with the imperative. Orders. When you are giving orders, you don't use the person in the meaning. Okay? So for example, um, I'm gonna come up with an example. Um I watch TV. Then you have the person I. Who is watching TV? I am watching TV. I. If it's an order, if I'm looking at you and then I'm telling you watch TV, I'm not saying you watch TV, or I'm not saying the person, I'm just saying watch TV. Because the most logical explanation would be because when you're giving an order, you're usually looking at the person that you're giving the order to. Because you're not looking at one person, but you're giving the order to another. If I'm looking at you and I'm saying watch TV, then I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to anyone else. So that's the most logical explanation why you don't use the person in the sentence when you're giving an order. Ok, entonces estamos hablando del imperativo. Cuando estás dando un orden que quieres que una persona haga algo, entonces no usas la persona en la oración. Por ejemplo, mira la tele. No dices tú mira la tele, porque la explicación más lógica es que siempre cuando das órdenes, miras a la persona a quien estás dando una orden. ¿Ok? No puedes mirar a una persona, pero decirle a otra o referirte a otra persona. Como mira la tele, si yo te estoy viendo a ti cuando lo digo, entonces es porque te lo quiero decir a ti y no a otra persona. Entonces, en imperativos, órdenes, in imperative and order, um, you never use the person. Watch TV, turn off the TV, eat your food, open the door, shut up. Em, y también hay una expresión, una orden muy, em, muy normal en envases de jugo o una bebida que dice shake before use. Y eso significa agitar antes de usar. Okay, so when you're giving orders, you never use the person. It's always without the person. Shut up. Open the door. Close the door. Turn off the TV. Watch TV. Eat up your food. Um, pick up your laundry. Whatever. Any orders. So when you're giving a negative order, then you always add don't. Do not. We already watched this in the second class we had, I think, that you can put them together. Do not, don't. Okay? For example, don't open the door. Don't watch TV. Don't eat up your food. Don't shut up. Um, don't eat up your food. Well, it's grammatically correct, but I don't think anyone would say that. Don't eat up your food. But for example, don't say nonsenses. No digas tonterías. So an order, you don't use the person, and they're always super short. Shut up. Turn off the TV, eat up your food. And when it's negative, you add don't. Don't watch TV. Don't don't throw your socks on the floor. Don't leave your plate on the table. Okay? Any questions? If not, we are gonna continue. We are gonna continue with some expressions of directions to places. Because before I told you straight ahead, to the right, to the left, second to the left, straight ahead. But there are some few others as well, and I'm going to explain them to you. So, first of all, we have to go along the street. And that means seguir la calle. And you go along the street up until you see the church. Y sigues la calle hasta que veas la iglesia. Okay? And then to go straight ahead, eso ya les dije, todo derecho, o seguir adelante. Y después tenemos to go across the street, cruzar la calle, to go across the street. And then you have to go or to walk up to, ir hasta. You go up to the church. Vas hasta la iglesia. And then you have to turn right, to turn left, to turn right and turn left, a la derecha, a la izquierda. And then you have to take the second to the right, the second to the left, la segunda calle a la derecha, la segunda calle a la izquierda. Y todas esas expresiones se usan en imperativo. Por ejemplo, tú me preguntas, where is the pharmacy? The pharmacy is on Oak Street. Okay, is it far from here? No, it's not far from here. Okay, how can I get to Oak Street? Okay, so, y voy a usar estos. You go along the street. Okay, so go along the street until you see a bookstore. No, you go along the street until you see a church. Sigues la calle hasta que ves una iglesia. And then you turn to the right. Giras a la derecha. And then you cross the street. Cruzas la calle. And you go up to the church. Y vas hasta la iglesia. And then you go straight ahead on. No, perdón. And then you go straight ahead until you see a pet store. Y vas todo derecho hasta que veas una tienda de mascotas. And you go straight ahead on y sigues adelante después de esa tienda, after the store. And then you take the second to the left y después giras la segunda calle a la izquierda. And there it is. Y ya estás. Entonces, todas esas expresiones son muy útiles para poder explicar una manera de cómo llegar. So they're very useful. These expressions are very useful to be able to explain how to get to a place. So for example, straight ahead, to the left, to the right, to the left, across the street, straight ahead on, go up to, walk up to, y todas esas expresiones. ¿Ok? Y entonces, lo que les dije, que esas expresiones se usan en imperativo. So these expressions you always use in imperative. ¿Ok? So then we are gonna continue with description of places. So then we have some words that explains different places. For example, near, cerca, far, lejos. Y puedes decir near from here, far from here. The pharmacy is far from my house. La farmacia está lejos de mi casa. The supermarket is near from here. El supermercado está cerca de aquí. Next to, al lado de, behind, atrás, in front of, adelante, across from, enfrente de, between, en medio de, between the cars, en medio de los coches, on the corner, en la esquina. Son expresiones muy útiles también para poder explicar lugares o también cómo llegar. Por ejemplo, yo te pregunto, where is the pharmacy? Oh, you go straight ahead and then you turn to the left, to the right, and in the corner you go to the left. En la esquina vas a la izquierda. Entonces también son expresiones muy útiles para usar en todo tipo de direcciones, en descripciones en dirección, lugar o cómo llegar. ¿Ok? Entonces tenía algunos ejemplos. For example, I have some examples. The pharmacy is on the corner. La farmacia está en la esquina. The school is between the bank and the bakery. La escuela está en medio del banco y la panadería. ¿Ok? There's a gym across from the supermarket. Hay un gimnasio enfrente del supermercado. My house is next to your house. Mi casa está al lado de tu casa. Her car is near the beach. Su coche está cerca de la playa. He lives far away from here. Él vive lejos de aquí. ¿Ok? Entonces, otra vez vamos a seguir un poquito con preposiciones. Poquitito. If you're referring to a street, lo voy a explicar muy rápido en español primero. Para referirse a una calle se usa la preposición on. So, to refer to a street, then you use the preposition on. Okay? For example, the shopping mall is on Oak Street. On the other hand, if you want to refer to an address or a direction, then you use at. Pero si es una dirección, es decir, calle y número, se usa at. Her house is at 56 Madison Avenue. ¿Ok? ¿Entendieron la diferencia entre on y at? If you're referring to a street in general, then it's on. The shopping mall is on Oak Street. But if you're referring to a direction, to say a street and a number, then it's at. Her house is at 56 Avenue, Madison Avenue. Okay? So let's keep on going. The last 10-15 minutes of this class, we are gonna continue with there is and there are. I'm just gonna take some water because I get dry in my throat when I'm talking really much. Okay, so let's keep on going with there is and there are. So there is when it's singular. There are is when it's plural. And I just have to say I'm so sad. I don't know why. There is no participation in the chat. The first lesson I had, there was a lot of participation. And now suddenly, no participation. Come on, people. Participate. Ask me some questions and give me some examples, whatever. Just participate, please. And be active. Okay. So there is and there are. So it's singular and plural. There is and there are in Spanish would be equivalent to hay. Okay? So when you use there is when it's for something that's not countable and singular. When I say something that's not countable, I mean water, milk, food, money. These things, these objects, you usually use in an incountable way. Okay? It's when you can't count how much there is. Entonces, there is se usa para cosas o nombres incontables, que no se puede contar cuánto es, cuántos objetos hay, no se puede contar. Y para singular. Y objetos incontables o nombres incontables sería agua, leche, comida, dinero. Son nombres que casi siempre se usa como, como incontables. Porque no puedes contar cuánta agua hay. Okay? So, for example, there is a lot of water in the fridge. Hay mucha agua en la nevera. There is a lot of food on the plate. Hay mucha comida en el plato. There is a cat in my house. Hay un gato en mi casa, porque también se usa para singular. There is some milk in the glass. Hay algo de leche en el vaso. There is a lot of money in the bank. Hay mucho dinero en el banco. Okay? There are. Y también there is se puede juntar como there's. Pero ya lo saben. There is, there's. Okay? There are es para plural. There are 2 shops near my house. There are a lot of cats outside of my house. There are a lot of stars in the sky. There are some Italian people in the store. Okay? Yeah. Negaciones. So when it's negative, then you say there isn't and there aren't. There is, there isn't. There are, there aren't. Como con todo. It's like with everything when it's positive and when it's negative. Okay. There isn't a bank here. No hay un banco aquí. There isn't a cat in my house. No hay un gato en mi casa. There isn't any water in the fridge. No hay nada de agua en la nevera. There isn't any food on the plate. No hay nada de comida en el plato. Okay? There is food on the plate. There isn't any water in the fridge. There aren't any hotels in my city. No hay ningunos hoteles en mi ciudad. There aren't any stars in the sky. No hay estrellas en el cielo. There aren't any cats outside of my house. No hay ningunos gatos afuera de mi casa. ¿Ok? Entonces, como ya les dije hace algunas clases, cuando se hace preguntas, el orden se invierte. ¿Ok? So, as I told you a couple of classes ago, when you do questions, the order of the words changes. Okay? For example, I am cooking. Estoy cocinando. As a question, am I cooking? Estoy cocinando. She is watching TV. Ella está mirando la tele. She is watching the TV. Is she watching the TV? ¿Ella está mirando la tele? Okay? So, when you do a question, you change the order of the words. For example, is there a pharmacy? Is there a pharmacy near here? ¿Hay una farmacia cerca de aquí? Yes, there is a pharmacy near here. Is there a pharmacy? Yes, there is a pharmacy. Are there any stars in the sky? Yes, there are stars in the sky. So do you see how the word order changes? ¿Ven cómo se cambia el orden de las palabras? De afirmaciones a preguntas. Ya que en español no es así, en español nada más es la, la manera de cómo decirlo, intonación. Ella está mirando la tele. Ella está mirando la tele, pero en inglés se cambia el orden de las palabras. So, in English, you have to change the word order. Is there a cat? Is there a cat inside of your house? Yes, there is a cat in my house. Is there any water in the fridge? No, there isn't any water in the fridge. Are there any hotels in your city? Yes, there are hotels in my city. Are there any stars in the sky? No, there aren't any stars in the sky. Okay? Entonces, that would be all for today. It went faster than I thought because there is no question, there are no questions in the chat. So this was everything for this class for today, and that I hope that I'll see you next week. Next week we're gonna continue with Unit 11. Okay, so there were no questions at all in the chat today, but let's hope that you come next week to the next class with a lot of questions and with a lot of doubts and a lot of participation. Okay, so this was all for today. And if you have any doubts about the other units, you can just go to the YouTube channel and check the other videos because the videos are still there. They're saved on our YouTube channel and you can just go in and check. If you have any doubts about the other units, because I started on Unit 7, but there are some units before that. So if you have any questions, you can just go in and watch the videos. And if not, I'll see you guys next week, next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Okay, have a good evening, everyone. See you. Bye bye.